Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the smashing machine because I am smashing this plum. And it's so good. It's so good. If you guys haven't had a plum in a while, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Welcome back to the channel. My name is the Big Eared Bandit, aka Mauricio. And yeah, the smashing machine produced by A24, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Emily Blunt, directed by Benny Safdie, not Josh Safdie. Safdies are two of my favorite directors. Big fan of Good Time and Uncut Gems. Really good movies. They're probably like up there in regards of like, probably like it would be my top 25 favorite all time. Maybe both of those. Really like those movies. And it's really exciting because this year we get to find out which of the Safdie brothers has the sauce. And I guess to cut to the chase, I think it might be Josh Safdie. They're both good, man. Smashing Machine was fine. I feel a little indifferent towards it. I watched it. I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. But it was a bit of a nothing burger. The movie, if you don't know, takes place between 97 and 2000. And it's a story surrounding Mark Kerr, one of the pioneers of a UFC. I'm not a big UFC guy, so I kind of came in with this with like no prior knowledge. But you know what? They really captured the era really well, and I think they did a strong job sort of showing us the life of this this fighter, this ultimate fighter, this pioneer of the game, man. He was doing it for the love of the game. But I think what everyone wants to know is how was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's performance, and it was fine. It was fine. It was all right. I think a lot of people were kind of coming in saying this was his breakout role to crack the sort of the Oscar scene, and I don't know if he cracks it. He was good. The Rock was good in this. He disappears into the role, as people like to joke when it comes to these Oscar-worthy nominations. He definitely disappeared into the role, but he did his job. That's what it felt like. It didn't feel like he knocked it out of the park. It just felt like he did his job. He was the right person for the role. He was casted accordingly, and he played the role accordingly. And it's, you know, for sure the best performance of his career. I think I would have to like look at his filmography, but I really don't think Rampage is gonna be contending with the Smashing Machine when it comes to his movies. But he was good. Just a lot of the time you feel like, yeah, that's just a Rock under a lot of prosthetics. That's kind of what the performance felt like. I think the role itself wasn't written very there was not a ton of complexity in the role for me to feel like he was a standout in that position. I think as the movie goes on, this is kind of a spoiler-free review, so I guess just I'll let you guys formulate your own opinions. Go watch the film. I love A24. I think I would want people to go watch this in theaters, so I'm just gonna sort of keep it as spoiler-free as possible. But I think as the movie goes on, I do think he sort of, and you know, obviously they probably didn't film this chronologically, but it does feel that, and maybe just because of the script itself, some of the better stuff in the role comes later in the movie. So he does, by the time the movie ends, you're kind of like, all right, that was a great performance, but I'm not sure. Right, I think we're maybe giving him too much credit because he's never done something like this. But this is sort of like just a good performance that you would expect out of an actor, a professional actor in any movie, right? Like they come in and they did their job. So yeah, we'll see. I'll be curious to see if he gets any noms. If he does, I think it's just, you know, maybe a lot of glaze. Emily Blunt, on the other hand, tremendous. Emily Blunt was really, really good in this. She plays a really, really toxic girlfriend, and she's really good at it, man. She's like, you know, she plays one of those where you're like, I can fix her. I can fix her. Because likewise, she's one of those that's like, I can fix him. It's a very we can fix each other movie, and I appreciated it. It's obviously based on Mark Kerr's real life. I don't know if they ham it up for the movie. The other like big character in this is Mark Coleman, who seems like he had a pretty good life, so they obviously couldn't make a movie around him. He just kind of seemed like a good father, good husband, good guy. So you probably need a more complex individual to make this movie, and I do think Mark Kerr is the right person to do that. But yeah, like outside of a really good Emily Blunt performance, I think the movie doesn't have a lot to say. It reminded me a lot of Magazine Dreams, but a little more safe. Magazine Dreams, if you don't know, is a movie that came out earlier this year theatrically, but I think was filmed way back, maybe like in 2022, and had like a film festival release in 2022. It's about a bodybuilder starring Jonathan Majors, and obviously, I think because of all the controversy surrounding Jonathan Majors during that time, they decided to shelf the movie, and they probably thought like this was a safe time to finally release it. And the movie's all right. It's an interesting movie about, honestly, it's been a while, and this is not a review for Magazine Dreams, but this movie reminded me a lot of that, except I felt like this was a lot safer and a lot more cookie cutter, but it looked beautiful. They really nailed the 90s, early 2000s aesthetics, which is like really fun to enjoy. It was like a little nostalgic, even though I was, barely around for that time. But like I'm old enough to remember part of the early 2000s, and it was nostalgic. It was like you could feel that it was a different world, and they really nail it. And I think it's easy to sit through. I think it's easy to sit through, which is good. There are movies that you're sitting there and you're kind of like, man, I can't wait for this to be over. And there are other movies that you just can't immerse yourself into. But I think this is a really immersible movie, even if it's a little bit boring. Ended up giving it 3.5, which is good on my scale. If you're over 3, you're a good movie. And this I think definitely passed all the vibes there. Now, as far as my thoughts as a believer, which is kind of what we do on this channel recently, I don't know if I have any. I thought there was some cool stuff. I don't know if there was like enough substance for me to like, I think the biggest thing that I have to say is I've been reading a lot of Ecclesiastes these past 2 weeks, and this kind of reminded me of Ecclesiastes. It was a great reminder that like everything turns into smoke, right? The word that they use in Ecclesiastes, the Hebrew word is hevel, right? I think it's like smoke that disappears, right? Like, and that's kind of what our life is. It's just smoke that disappears. No matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you try, like eventually your life will just disappear into the air, right? Like, even if you set your future generations up for success, like eventually they're gonna squander that, right? Like eventually you will fade into oblivion, no matter what. Even the greatest humans that have ever walked this earth like fade into some sort of obscurity, right? Like their names are brought up in conversations every once in a while, and you remember them every once in a while, and you're like, oh yeah, that guy. But more or less, like no one is thinking about them on a day-to-day like we are thinking about people that are in our circles like right now, and that this movie kind of reminded me of that, right? Like you have two guys that were at the top of their game, pioneering a sport that was like, coming into the scenes like hot and fresh off the press. And they there are some great scenes of them, because a lot of the movie takes place in Japan, which is where their tournaments are at. And they're surrounded by hundreds of fans in Japan, and they're sort of taking it in. They're taking in like how good it feels to be in front of a crowd, right? It's something that Mark Kerr says a lot in the movies. Man, like there is no feeling like being in front of 40,000 people and them like rooting for you. Like you can't replicate that adrenaline. And then you fast forward to 2025 and all of that is gone. So like, and sort of like what a big point made in Ecclesiastes is you just gotta enjoy it for what it's worth. You gotta enjoy life for the moment that it is right now, because it's not gonna last. And in that you got to give glory to God, of course, for the moment that you're in. And I think the movie does that. You get to the end of the movie and you really do witness two of the best enjoying life for what it's like. Not for what they want it to be, not for what they wish it was like, not for what it used to be, but just enjoying it for what it is. And I think maybe that's like the biggest message that I sort of walked away with this from. It's just, life goes on, man. Life finds a way and it'll move on without you long after you're gone. And most of us aren't people that are celebrities that are gonna write our names down in the history book. Most of us are just regular Joes, man. We're just regular people our families will remember us, kind of, and then once our families are gone, no one will remember us. So just enjoy life for what it is now. It's beautiful. Life is beautiful. God is good. You guys are awesome. And yeah, that's the Smashing Machine. Go check it out. A24. Emily Blunt is really good. I think she'll get some noms for this. The Rock is fine. I think maybe he'll get some noms, maybe not, depending on what the rest of the field looks like. And yeah, go check it out in theaters everywhere. Bye.